Alright, in this video we're going to work with Excel's SUMIF function. Okay. Alright, so the SUMIF function, we have a range, a criteria, and a sum range. Now this is different than the sum function. What this does is in order for it to sum the value, it has to meet a certain criteria that you specify. And this range here, this is the range that it's going to look through and see if it meets the criteria. And then this sum range, that's the values that it's going to actually add together. So that's the difference between this range and this sum range here. So let's suppose I come up here and I want to add all the sales for just Ford vehicles. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to hit equals and I'm going to type in sum if, and you can see it pops up here. So I can double click it and it'll pop the function in there. Alright, so the range that I want it to search through to check for if it's a Ford is this column right here. Not the whole column, but just this value, these cells here that I have highlighted. And then I put my comma, and then the criteria that I want it to meet, I want it to be a Ford vehicle. So it's only going to sum this, 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 and this. See these values over here that correspond to the Ford. And so I have to put that in quotes. So that's going to be Ford. Close my quotes. Okay, so that's my criteria right there. And then comma. Okay. And then the range I want it to sum is this one. This is where my values are right here. Okay. And so what this formula is going to do now is going to look through this list and find all the words or all the car makes that are Fords, and then it's going to sum those values. So it'll sum the 18,000, the 10,000, the 10,000, and the 11,000. And so I hit enter, and there's my answer. $49,000 total in the sale of Ford vehicles. Alright, so what if I want to know the amount of sales that Bill had? Okay, well, I'm looking for Bill, so which range am I going to have to choose? Well, I'm going to have to choose this one because this is here's the salesperson. So you can see Bill is here, 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 and here. Okay, so I'm going to hit equal sum if, and I can double click. I can either double click this or I can come up here and close the parenthesis. It's the same thing. Okay, and so the range where I'm looking for the criteria is this one. Okay, I'm looking for Bill, and so I've got a comma, and then Bill has to go in quotes. Okay, so I'm looking for the amount of sales for Bill, and then a comma, and then the range I want it to sum is this one right here. And so there's my formula. So I hit enter, and he had $77,000 worth of sales. Now, what if I only wanted to add up the total amount of money for the cars that were over $11,000? So in other words, you see this for 10,000, 10,000, 11,000, 10,000 here. Those values will not be included in the sum because it's only going to be those for greater than $11,000. Alright, so for this, it's going to be the same thing, equals sum if, and I can double click. Alright, so the range, where does it have to look? Which range does it have to look in to find the values over $11,000? Well, that's this one. Okay, so I select this, Okay. Now keep in mind this range here, that's not the one that's going to sum. That's this one over here. But I mean, of course, in this problem, this range and this range will be the same because I'm looking for my criteria in this range, and I'm also summing this range. Okay, or parts of it. Okay, so then a comma, and then quotes, and then greater than 11,000, close my quotes, comma, and now I need my sum range. So this is the range I want it to add, okay, provided that it meets the criteria. And then I hit enter, and there you have it, $181,000. Okay, so it summed all of these numbers except for this cell, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, now what if I want to find the amount of sales for vehicles that were less than $11,000? Well, it's going to be the same thing as this one, except for instead of a greater than sign, I'm going to have a less than sign. All right, so I have equals, and then sum if. So there's the sum if. This is the range where I'm checking for the criteria, and then comma, and then I have to enter in my criteria. So that's less than 11,000, close my quotes. Oh, I forgot to put my quotes there. So quotes, let's come back here. All right, and comma, and then this is the range I want it to sum, and then I hit enter, and you can see that's a total of 30,000. Okay, and notice I did less than 11,000, so it didn't include this one. It only did the ones that were $10,000, those two and this one. Okay, all right, so what if I want to sum the one? I'm going to skip this one for now. I'll come to this one at the end. So what if I want to do this? I want it to equal 11,000. Okay, all right, so how would I do that? Well, equals, and then sum if. All right, and so I want it to search through here for the criteria, comma, and what's my criteria? I want it to equal $11,000. Well, you don't have to put equals $11,000. You can just type in 11,000, and it doesn't have to be in quotes. Okay, all right, so if you're just typing in a number here, it doesn't have to be in quotes. But if you're typing in something else like we did here, see how it has a symbol or words, then that means that you need to put that in quotes. Okay, and then so here's my criteria, and it's searching this range for the values of $11,000, and then the sum range, the range I want it to sum, is this one. So let's see what we get, and we get $22,000. And you can see that in this list of numbers, here and here are the only places that it was $11,000, so that would give us the $22,000. All right, so let's suppose that I want to see the total sales of the model cars that end in the letter A. Okay, I don't know why you would want to do that, but we're going to do that for this example here. So you can see the car models here, and you can see Versa, that ends in an A, and let's see, the Corolla, the Impala, Versa, Sentra, and Altima. All those end in A. So I want to just sum those values. Okay, they end in an A. So we can use this wildcard character. So, and it's going to be that star where you hold it's the shift key and the number 8. Okay. All right. So I'm going to hit equals SUMIF. Okay, and I'll double click that. All right. And the range I want it to search for the criteria would be this range. Okay. Comma. And then in quotes. Okay. So I want it to search just for the ones that end in the letter A. So I'll put my star. Okay. You hold the shift key down and press the number 8. And then A. So that means whatever letters it has, okay, it doesn't matter what the letters are, so it can have any letters before the A. Okay. So that's what this is doing. It's saying, okay, our word ends in an A. And then I close the quotes, and then comma, and then the range I want it to sum would be this one right here. And then I would hit enter, and there's my solution, $110,000. And all it did was sum these cells over here corresponding to the entries that end in the letter A over here. All right, so I think that covers everything with the SUMIF function. If I left anything out, sorry about that. I hope this video helped. If you like it, you can go watch my other videos. I'm gonna be posting some more with Excel functions also. And if you like them, you can subscribe. Alrighty, thanks.